Hello viewers, and welcome to this tutorial. So we're learning about using the if statement within the looping statement. Okay, so let's just jump start in what to do. Now you already understand how to declare these ranges, and you also know how to receive input from the user. Okay, how to just do this input, enter your number. Okay, enter your number. Alright, and we have the for loop current value in numbers. Alright, and we print current value. You already know all this stuff, so just check the previous tutorials if you're confused with them. It prints all those values. Okay, so this is just how to receive the input from the user, and this is how to just print. We've done all this. Okay, so let's just go to how to implement the if statement within. Okay, so there are several users visiting an organization. Okay, and there is a particular user we're expecting to see. Alright, so we want to tell the user it's not your turn if it is not your turn, and we want to tell the user it's your turn if it is your turn. Okay, so someone will say, why won't we use the if statement just to check through the numbers? We can use the if statement just to check if it is in, then we'll do something for the user. But that user is not the only user we want to work on. We want to work on all other users, including that user. So if all the other users have their values within, we execute them, and after, if this user comes in, he also has a special execution. Okay, so this is our for loop, which the current value will be receiving the values for the numbers. Okay, and now we have the if statement within it. So if the current value is equal to the user's entry, the value the user entered, all right, print it is your turn. Okay, else print it is not your turn. Okay, so what is happening right now? Please check the indentation. Well, this is so careful. This else statement is not for the for loop. Okay, it's not for the for loop, because if I bring it this way, meaning it's for the for loop. Okay, and if it then appears to be for the for loop, meaning it will only execute if this condition is false. But that's not what we want to do. We want to have an else statement for the if statement, that even if this condition is true, I have an if statement and I have an else statement checking what is happening within the for loop if this condition is true. Okay, so these values, as I said, we're receiving the values for this. Then after, we check the individual values it receives. So if it passes 0 to the current value, is 0 equal to any value the user enters, then tell him this. But if not, say no, it's not your turn. Then it passes 1, is 1 equal to the value the user entered? If yes, print this. If no, just say it's not your turn. So do that unless all the values are elapsed. Okay, then we can have our own else statements and said, okay, all our values are elapsed. Those kind of thing we did, but that's not the focus of today. Okay, so let's jump into the code and run it. So enter your number. We enter 3. We hit the enter key. It says it's not your turn for the first time because the value is 0. It's not your turn for the second time. Okay, let me add this one to it so you kind of appreciate it a lot. So it prints the current value by time. Okay, so I run this code. Enter your value as a 3. It's not your turn. Alright, oh, why didn't it print the value? Oh, sorry, I only added it to the top. Let me add it to the else statement as well. So add it to both statements. This is why it's good to declare a variable. If not, I would have been adding my own stuff. So this variable helps through all the code. Okay, so enter your number. I enter 3. It's not your turn, it's the turn of 0. Do you get it? It's not your turn, it's the turn of 1. It's not your turn, it's the turn of 2, because these are the values the current value will be receiving from the numbers. And later it says it's your turn, the turn of 3, because you entered 3. Okay, then look at another thing. It says it's not your turn because it's the turn of 4. We didn't stop the code from running if we find this person, so we're searching for the third person. Okay, and after finding the third person, maybe there is no need to go through, but because we didn't stop the code, it will check for everyone and everyone and everyone. All right, so this if statement, actually we're searching for this user. Okay, and this else is, if it is not him, tell him it's not your turn. But hey, it is his turn. Why telling him again it's not your turn? Why? Because the values ends at 4 and the user entered 3. So after comparing the last values, it still comes back to the for loop. Don't forget we are in the for loop. So the for loop will receive the value again, which is 4, and say 4 in 4. Okay, 4 in this range. And you say if 4 is equal to the user entry, which is 4, print this. Then to skip and come and print, it's not your turn again. So we have to be able to stop the code even when the user entry or if we find the one we're searching for. Okay, so if not, it will run over and over and over again. So we have to give a restriction to the code which is able to search for the particular user, and after finding the user we want to stop the code. Okay, so if your wife comes in all other ladies should go out of the room because your wife is the ultimate priority. Okay. Then don't have girls in your room in the first place. Okay, so let's just jump into the code and know what to do. So if we find this user, okay, if we find this user, we don't want to go back to the for loop again. That's what we want to do. So there are mechanisms of stopping the for loop. Now this else statement, take consideration, this else statement, you are out of the game. This else statement does not stop the loop. This else statement only executes if this condition is false. Okay, but we want to create a within condition. Okay, a condition within the if statement, which will actually a condition within the for loop, which will actually stop the whole looping if we find the one we're searching for, or if the condition of the if becomes true. Okay, so let's check something. So we bring what is called the break. Now I made mention of break when we were dealing with the previous tutorial. So the break will actually stop the code. If we find the one we're searching for, it stops the code. Okay, so let's see. So the number is 3. You can enter any number you want. I enter 3. It says it's not your turn 0, it's not your turn 1, it's not your turn 2, it's your turn 3. It doesn't print again, it's not your turn. So the fourth value for the numbers is not assigned to the current value. So the break stops all the for loop. Okay, immediately you see this break, it stops all the for loop. So check what happens if I try to put something under the break. Print hello. Look at what will happen if I said this code is unreachable. So after the break, any other code under the break is unreachable. So the break stops the code completely. So kind of hover over it, it tells you this is unreachable. Okay, so now someone will say, then why would the else statement work? The else statement is not under the break. The else statement is under the if. Okay, it works with the if statement. So this is the basic way of we closing our code using the if statement and using break as well within our code. So it really helps in understanding the fewer things, and also every other thing we need becomes simpler. And also we can use something like continue. There is a difference between break and continue. Okay, so the break actually stops the code, but continue actually skips one particular code. Okay, so we're going to understand all this in maybe the previous tutorial on how to use continue and how to blend it with a while statement and do all the other stuff we need to do. So make sure you like the video. If it was good for you, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and receive all other infos you need. So the whole thing we learned today is implementing your if statement within the for loop and using break to stop every other thing, which is processing if your wife comes in the room. Okay, so thanks for everything, and thanks for viewing, and you're always